All right, here's a little case study for a small retail sort of boutique store called Olivia Wilson. The background story on this is that this person, the founder, created this gift package business sort of as a side hustle to begin with, and it grew to the point it was taking more of her time and she was earning more money than she was at her full-time gig. So she decided to go all in. The model that she used to get started was a great start. It got her into the business and it got her generating revenue, but it wasn't really sustainable. That initial bump of support she got from friends, family, her network was eventually going to level out and probably decline a little bit. So we had to come up with a plan to have a model that generated fantastic numbers that could continue to support her full time and not to kill her from an hourly standpoint. So here's a little breakdown of her business. The focus was 30 to 60-year-old professionals. It turns out that 75% of her clients were female, 25% male, and like I said a second ago, more professional than any other type of industry. The average spend on each of these gifts, baskets, unique gifts, was $395 per gift basket. I'll call it basket. I'm probably saying it the wrong way. So the target market, 30 to 60-year-olds, 75% of them were female, 25% male, professionals. About $400 per sale is what she was making. Okay, so what does all that mean? That means that she generated in 1 year under that startup model about $225,000 based on that roughly $400 per ticket. The gross margin on that, she was very good right out of the gate. She actually ended up higher on the scale of what's average in that industry. So her gross margin was 36%. Pretty amazing, which translates into a gross profit of $83,250. Now that's gross profit. Keep that in mind. That's not necessarily what she took home, but I can tell you that her business's fixed expenses were quite low, so she nearly made that much. So $225,000 in sales, 36% gross profit margin, and she ended up with $83,250 in gross margin. Not a bad start for that business. And the whole point of showing you this as a case study is that it doesn't have to be a big fancy business where you can actually earn a nice living. Where did we go from there? Well, she had a great foundation, but when we looked at improving her business model, that included who was her ideal client, the pricing, even to the point of where she was getting these gifts. We made a couple of tweaks. The first one is probably the most important because it begins to separate her from other people that were providing a custom gift basket or a concierge gift business. And we went through a process that I call market dominating position. Market dominating position is a position that is so strong that the marketplace, your competition, your clients, they can't dispute what you've said. In essence, a market dominating position takes the hot button issue, that one pain that your client has, and directly aligns what you do, your service, the benefit of working with you on top of it. So when you align those two things, you create this position that is just unique, strong, and stands the test of time. All right, so where was the start? The start was with a one-liner that said, unique gifts that leave an impression. That's a fine one-liner. That's a fine positioning statement, but it could be better, and it could be punchy. It could be more impactful. So after some time and some market research, we landed on be unforgettable. And the main reason why is the market that we're going after, they're leaving gifts, they're giving gifts to people they want to influence, but at the end of the day, they want to be remembered. A CPA wants you to remember that they sent you this very unique gift when it comes time for taxes or doing your business quarterly planning. It's less about giving you a gift that you're going to use every day of the week. It's more about creating that unforgettable memory in your prospect's mind. So that's why we settled on be unforgettable. And it had a fantastic impact, just as we thought it would. And with those changes, she saw a 12% increase in revenue. But even more important, she had a 9% bump in new customers. So she's adding new customers at a pretty good clip right off the bat, which increased her revenue to $252,000. So now that we've got her messaging, the next thing we looked at is who her target audience should be. And like I mentioned earlier, we made some tweaks. Let's check it out. Okay, so we want to target higher end clients with a higher end unique gift concierge service. So we need to identify who those people are, but just as important, who they might know, because what we do know in society is that people tend to surround themselves with people that are like them. So, for example, it might be a CPA is the perfect target for this business because they're professionals, they're at the higher end scale, but they also have clients, probably wealthy clients, probably business clients. So a relationship with a CPA creates the opportunity to provide them a service. But if you're smart about it, you build that relationship to get part of their network, and then it just expands. The same thing with an attorney. An attorney is another great example. Financial person, an estate planner. Those are people that would want to be unforgettable to the people that they deal with in their lives. That's going to make a big difference, and it did make a big difference. The average profit margin in the boutique gift business is around 25 to 37%. Because we're now focusing on higher end clients, we're going to raise our prices. We changed the pricing model in some of the gifts in order to get a gross profit margin of about 52% now. The third thing that we did was set up nurture campaigns. These were important because it made it easy for the client to give a referral, which ultimately increased the amount that we sold, so our revenue went up. And it's also very important to know that this also increased the frequency in which people purchased. More revenue per transaction and more frequent transactions is a recipe for, hallelujah, growth. Here's my hope. is that you see this case study and you start thinking to yourself, if they did that, what could I do? What could I do in my business? The truth is, working with small businesses for me is a passion. I don't want to say a passion project because it's much bigger, but I've got incredible respect for people that have an idea, they have a product, a service, and they go out and try. And so when I'm able to connect with one of those people and show them how they can increase, as I talk about, pull on levers that affect your bottom line, your top line, of course, that's exciting. That's wonderful. And I personally know that this business's change was incredibly impactful for not just the woman, but her family. So my takeaway is you think about your business a little bit differently. What can you do? What tweaks can you make? Are you talking to the right people? Is your messaging captivating? All these things. And if you want some guidance, if you want someone to walk with you as you make these changes and see how they might impact your business, let me know. It would be my pleasure to walk along with you as you figure out how to continue grow and develop yourself and your business.